What's going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with PPL Division 2 Season 4 Week 7. Our team analysis this week, we are going up against the AS Rowlet. And their coach, Eric, aka Ashton Akai. I don't know why I just stumbled over his name. Let's go ahead and look at the team that I have and the team that he has. So some little not post-editing magic. It's live editing magic. Look at that. That's me, and that's it. Ooh, it's pretty nice. So yeah, we got a team. He has a team. He has 8 mons on his team, and approximately 7 of them are scary against me. Well, 6.5. Gramble, not as much, but it definitely can be threatening. Mew is a mon that is just it hurts my brain having to go against it. After that, we have a Zygarde 10, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. He has a Thunderous Incarnate, which he picked up in free agency. Same with Mega Gyarados, he picked that up in free agency. So like right off the bat, you can tell the first 4 or 5 mons on his team, definitely the first 5 mons on his team, are huge threats against mine. And then Ferrothorn is there to take hits, get up hazards, which would be a huge nuisance to my team, so I gotta limit that. Right off the bat, you can take a look. His offense outspeeds all of my offense, but also my offense has to run... the only one that can afford to speed creep something is Hydreigon. Victini speed ties with Mew, I have to respect that. Keldeo speed ties with Infernape, I have to respect that. So there's those two. Hydreigon is outsped by all of his offense, so you are going to take a look at how I plan to deal with that. T-Spikes look amazing against this team. I don't see Komala coming, and I definitely don't see him bringing Defog on Mew, so in order to make up for that, he's probably going to have a bunch of things on his team that have Taunt, because, you know, Mew, Thundy, Mega Gyarados, Infernape, all of those get Taunt, which would be great, in order to get out T-Spikes against him, or it would be good in order to stop T-Spikes going up on his side. T-Spikes are great for Mega Gyaro, wearing down the Mew, wearing down Zygarde 10, as long as I still have Serena to come in on it every time. Great for Infernape as long as I have Toxapex still around, because Infernape can't really do too much to Toxapex. Of course, it does get Z Earthquake, or it does have access to Z moves, so it could use Tectonic Rage with Earthquake in order to decimate the Toxapex. And keeping hazards off my side of the field are going to be very crucial. So let's take a look at how I decided to handle this. So right off the bat, notice that Keldeo, this is a thing, and he definitely has no switching to it. Keldeo is a great thing for Mega Gyarados. Resists both of its dual stab. Of course, not the biggest of deals, because Mega Gyarados still hits like a truck. Secret Sword hits it super effectively, which is great, especially on the physical side. So it would be that or Focus Blast in order to hit it, and Focus Blast is pretty unreliable. We will come back to the Focus Blast idea later on in this team build. Splash Plate was here because I didn't want to be Specs in order to lock myself in, because he would be able to set up a Dragon Dance with Mega Gyarados if he wanted to. And Splash Plate still gives me the amount of special attack that I want in order to deal with Mew. Mew cannot live 2 Hydro Pumps on the switch, and if it is Spadef, as long as I have a layer T-Spikes up and Rocks. So it does about 75% with 2 Hydro Pumps, which is what Mew will be at after switching in on both of those hazards. So Hydro Pump is very nice against his entire team. The only switch-in he has to it is Ferrothorn, but I'd probably rather click Scald because I can get a burn on it. He might be Choppleberry, so I wouldn't really want to risk staying in on the Ferrothorn in order to not KO with Rocks and then lose momentum in order to spend 2 turns switching into Serena and then rapid spinning as well. That could be bad. So that's going to be Keldeo. There's not really much to say about it. Calm Mind is on there because I didn't really feel like another move was necessary. I didn't want Icy Wind because Secret Sword does enough to Zygarde 10. And that's going to be Keldeo, really. So moving on, we have the Plate Bros, Splash Plate and Flame Plate. This is Flame Plate Victini. Now, this Victini set, it changed a lot. First instinct told me Choice Band. Why Choice Band? Well, why not Choice Band? It like kills Mew, which is great. It'll kill Zygarde 10 even. Thundy doesn't live. Infernape doesn't want to switch into that. Komalo won't live. Ferrothorn won't live. Granbull, if it has Intimidate, that's great. It'll probably live. But it doesn't want to take it. Mega Gara, Banded U-turn, it does a lot of damage. And then also Bolt Strike. It probably wouldn't want to switch in, especially if it has not Mega Evolved yet, because, you know, Bolt Strike is a good thing in order to roast a Mega Gyarados. So what did Banded change to? Well, why did it change in the first place? I didn't want Mega Gyara to come in, set up DD pretty much at any time. So that was that was my reasoning for changing it. It's just like, don't let Mega Gyara set up. That would be bad. So changed it from Banded to a special set, which was sub with lefties. The 3 attacks it had were Blue Flare, Thunder, and trying to remember. Glaciate. Yeah, it was Glaciate in order to hit the Zygarde 10, or like if I wanted to slow something down on a switch in, maybe negate Scarf, something like that. So that was going to be Victini, and then I changed that, changed it back to Banded, because I was like, you know what? No, I want Banded. But then I was like, you know what? We can keep some power, but we also cannot be locked in. I have to acknowledge that I cannot lock myself into a move, so let's go ahead and change it to Flame Plate. Now, instead of Flame Plate with these 4 moves, I originally had U-turn over Flame Charge. That was such a last-second decision before my match that I did it like a day before, after I had already had my team gen the day before the match. I went in, had to look to see if I had the TM for Flame Charge, put it on there, didn't care about PP maxing it, so it's probably like the one time that I won't have a PP max to move on Wi-Fi. So it was that last second of a change, and the reason I did that is because I want to be able to outspeed Thundurus and Zygarde 10. Both of those would be great in order to outspeed. It also means that I can freely go for V-Create and still outspeed Mega Gyarados, which is a great thing to be able to do. And also, Flame Plate boosted Flame Charge, it definitely 2 KOs of Ferrothorn. Does 55 min if he is max Fizdef, but if he is max Def, then he takes even more, because that's how damage works. Max speed, max attack, because like I said, going over the team at the beginning, I need to respect that he could bring a Mew that outspeeds, or that speed ties rather, with the Victini. So there's that. I needed all the attack power that I could get, and that's the moveset. Moving on. Next up, this is a set. This is definitely a set. Tailwind is something like I hate it. It only lasts 3 turns. You can only kill 3 things in that amount of time. But you know what? It was necessary for this matchup. His switching to Hydreigon, pretty much Ferrothorn and potentially Granbull as well. So Ferrothorn might not be the switch into it because it could come in on a fire move and die. Granbull, like you can see right here, I have Flash Cannon for that. I was originally thinking Earth Power over Flash Cannon, That way I could hit the Infernape super effectively, but I felt that just having Focus Blast was going to be good enough there. Dark Pulse runs through his entire team besides Megagara and Infernape, and of course Gramble. And Megagara, even if it's bulky Dragonets, dies to all-out pummeling with Focus Blast. I won't miss the Focus Blast either. That's a huge, huge plus. So Hydreigon, potential to run through his team. The speed is there just to outspeed max speed Jolly Mega Gyarados. I actually think this is speed creeping a Mega Gyara that is trying to outspeed a Klefki as well. And then I can afford to be modest, max special attack, and the rest in my HP. So I'm doing as much damage as I can without the Life Orb. So that's gonna be Hydreigon. Not really much else to say about it. Like, Dark Pulse does enough to Mew, Zygarde, Thundeed. I can set up a Tailwind in front of a Mew if I try to get him to think that I'm Scarfed. I could set up in front of a Zygarde if it's locked in to EQ. Maybe 1,000 Arrows as well, because then I'll outspeed on the following turn after the Tailwind. I can set up in front of Thundee unless it has Focus Blast or something like that. Yeah, so that's gonna be Hydreigon. That's enough. Tailwind is it's great against his team. That was the first thing that popped up in my head. Hey, what about Tailwind Hydreigon? That looks good. Bless you, Dad. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my dad, he sneezed. So let's move on to the less offensive part of the team. Just like last week against Raikou, I took a look at the team and I was like, T-Spikes. Immediately. It was just like, T-Spikes. That's exactly what I wanted, and that's exactly what I have. So, Toxapex here, as you heard me go over, he has a lot of things that have Taunt on his team. And in order to make sure that I get up T-Spikes against him, Mental Orb. Easy enough. It guarantees a layer of T-Spikes. Now, the rest of the set is kind of just, it's thrown together. Why Merciless and not Regenerator? Why do you have Pin Missile? Let's go over these right now. Now, the reason for Pin Missile, let's start off with that. Reason for Pin Missile is because if I get 3 hits, it guarantees to break a Mega Gyarados sub. I don't want a Mega Gyarados with a sub up when Toxapex eventually goes down. In combination with Haze, that means that he won't be setting up on me, so I can eventually wear down the Mega Gyarados. If I have the T-Spikes up and he comes in on the T-Spikes, with Merciless, I'm guaranteed to break its sub every time. And I could potentially get off some extra damage against it as well. Like if I get all 5 hits, I'm doing over 50% with Merciless Pin Missile. That sounds really stupid, but you know what? Stupid damage, stupid life, whatever. I don't know what that motto meant. So, Haze, Pin Missile, Toxic Spikes, and because I wasn't Regenerator, I was like, okay, I'll throw Recover on there. It might come in handy. Maybe give me an extra switch in. I typically don't like Toxapex being alive because it just seems like a liability on the team, as long as it is there. So the sooner it's gone, the sooner I can stop worrying about, oh shit, he could set up in front of me. That could be very bad. I don't want him setting up in front of me. So like, that's what this Toxapex is here to do, is just set up T-Spikes and then not let the opponent set up in front of it. I'd rather it die than get set up on. So that's going to be Toxapex. Next up, I was like, yeah, let's get some spin. And Fizdef Serena works out perfectly because he has a Zygarde, and because he has a Mega Gyara. And with the combination of Trop Kick and Synthesis, I can take on both of them. Now, it gets a little tricky knowing that he has Thundee and Infernape on the team, as well as Ferrothorn, because I could Rapid Spin, and he could just stay in and be like, hey, here's some Iron Barbs, and you're going to have to live with it. So leftovers is pretty nice. Synthesis, of course. U-turn is on here. U-turn is on here in order to grab momentum. If I know that he is not going to stay in, I could potentially U-turn, go out into something in order to get up rocks. Like if he goes into Thundy on the U-turn, knowing that Serena doesn't really get anything to hit Thunderous, I could U-turn into Stunfisk, which is my answer for Thundy Eye this week. I could go straight into Stunfisk, and I can get up my rocks for free, as long as it also doesn't have Taunt. There's a lot of things that could potentially have Taunt, and I'm going to have to play around it if that is the case. So that's going to be Serena here. Pretty standard. I've brought this set a few times this season. I think I brought this exact set against Richie. So that's going to be Serena. And lastly, we have Stunfisk. Stunfisk is here to check Thundy and also be a backup check to Zygarde 10 because I have the Shookaberry. And Shookaberry plus HP Ice guarantees that I live abandoned 1,000 arrows and kill with HP Ice. 1,000 arrows, it does some damage. It does 50%, I think 50% max to this Stunfisk with the Shookaberry. If he's not banded, it'll do even less, which is nice. Stunfisk is here to get up rocks. Really, that's just here to get up rocks and not let Thundy completely run through me. Getting off a Toxic on something that's floating in case I don't get up my T-Spikes or he's actually able to defog them away would be very nice. So Toxic is there to do the Toxicing. Discharge is there just for main stab, and then of course HP Ice for the Zygarde. That's gonna be the team. That's it. That's all we got. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and hit that like button. And I will see you when we battle Eric next. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.